Okay, let's get to some idle tuning. A couple things that I overlooked in our last video was, you notice I had some trouble starting initially, and I forgot about the priming. Over here, in the middle of the carburetor, there's a little hole here. Here's a paper clip, and what you're supposed to do is push in here. Hear that? I don't know if you could hear that, but a little bit of propane was coming through. And I may not have primed it fully. So let's put a new tank in here. There we go. Whew. Stinky propane. Snap the bottle in there. And let's try this again. Yep. Sounds like there's lots of gas in there now. So that's one thing I overlooked. The second thing I overlooked was that it was showing like 900 RPM. Again, my tripod and my motor stand don't like to work well together. Can you see that? I think you can see that. Apparently, this... I thought the default setting was good, but apparently it's not. It says here, it's not written very well, but it says hold down the S1 button for 4 seconds. 3, 2, 1. And I think we want to keep holding it until we get to 2. And it says that once you find your desired spark plug firing pattern, release the S1 button. The LCD will blink for 8 to 10 seconds and return to the total hour meter mode. The default for the standard model is 2. So 2, what 2 means is once per revolution. In other words, the spark plug fires once per revolution. I think I accidentally set it to 01, which is the spark plug fires twice per revolution, which I think that means it would cut the numbers in half. That's why it was showing like a 900 RPM when it should have been closer to 2000. The spec for this motor is 2000 RPM plus or minus 150. So let's get the tether on. And the other thing I didn't really make clear is that this tether is a Polaris tether, and this little clip doesn't really fit it that well, so that might be another reason why I was having trouble starting. It's not really pulling it out all the way. I don't have anything else to work with right now, so see if you take a look. Can you see that? Kind of like I can push it in further. If I let go, it pops down. So I'm not sure if that's also causing a problem. But let's put it on just above, a little above start. And it's primed. Give it a pull and see what happens. A little better. A little more throttle. A little more throttle. A little more throttle. Reading 2700 RPM when you turn it down. Yeah, you see it's idling at like 1400. If I turn the throttle all the way down, 1450, and I go over here and adjust the idle speed, it's not quite far. A little bit of vibration, feels normal. 2000, 210, 230. It jumped up like 200 RPM and I didn't adjust anything. Hold that out, hold it down. That looks good. Okay. Now we got that adjusted a little better. I'm going to try and start it again. Bit of a warmer start. Up a little bit of throttle. Now, why isn't it starting? It's relatively warm. Okay, there's one more item to cover in this adjustment, which is inside here is the needle adjustment. Let's do that. According to this sheet, it says that this needle should be out at 14.5 millimeters on the 5.0 horsepower motor. So let's work on that. Got me some digital calipers with really weak batteries. Zero that. Good enough. Okay, this should only be hand tight. Let's pull this out of here. So the brass button or fitting there, that's got to be on the top for it to go back in. So this should be 14.5 millimeters. Wow, the batteries are weak in this meter. I may have to use the numbers on the, wow, that does say 14.73. It's hard to measure precisely, but I would say 13.9. It's supposed to be 14.5. Now there actually is, I don't know if you can see that, but there's a low side and a high side here. And according to the image in this document, it looks like you're supposed to measure from the high side. Measure from here, so the high side. Maybe that's the problem. If that's the case, it's at 13.3. It's supposed to be 14.5. So let's go out 1, 2 half turns. 14.27, I think that says. Again, we're measuring from the top, from above the brass fitting there. 14.3, 14.5, that's pretty good. So that was 2 turns out. All right, let's put this back in and see how she starts. Put the throttle on the start position. Quarter throttle. Just to be on the safe side, just give it a little extra priming. Let's go up to about third throttle, half throttle. Wow, it got worse. I think I'm going to turn this in. Excuse me, guys. I'm going to turn this in. Oh, that's pretty far out now. Let's go 1 half, 2. Wow, that feels really far out. 2 half, 3 half, 4 half. That's 2 turns in. Let's try that. Throttle back down. Start position. Quarter throttle. third, half. I wonder if it's my tether. I really got to get a better tether. The original one is somewhere, I just don't know where it is right now. Way too high. 2,800. Half turn out. Half turn out. Quarter turn out. Another quarter turn. 1960, 1970, 1980, 1990, 2000. Back is 2000, give or take 150. It does sound better. Let's cut the engine. And let's try one more time. I think I'm going to try and keep my hand on the tether. I think half my trouble is this tether. I'm going to keep my hand there to see what, I don't know if you can see that when I, so this is too big, right? So when I put this in here, kind of holds it up a little bit, but then it falls into the hole because the hole's too big. And if I push a little further, it kind of keeps it out more. So I'm going to try and keep one hand here while I'm doing this. A little awkward. Back down. I think that half my problem has been this. Is there something else we can do to keep that out? Maybe just jam some wire in here. Let's try that. Nope, it's not going to work. Let me find something. Be right back. Okay, so what I did is I just took the cable part of the tether and wrapped it around there and jammed it in. So do not do that if you're actually using any type of motor that has a tether, because it's not safe. The idea is it's supposed to pull off an emergency, and that's not going to pull off, but for bench testing I think we'll be fine. Okay, one pull, ready? Throttle is in start position. Can you see that? I don't know if you can see that, but that's start position, trust me. And one pull. I'm going at 1740, a little low. I'm going to let it run for 5 minutes, warm up, and continue idle when it's warm. Here. Okay, so I think we're good. It's running now for about 5 minutes. Nice and hot. And sitting at 2100 RPM, 2090. I think I'd like to see it a little lower. I'm going to go down a quarter of a turn. Another quarter of a turn. They're a tad low. I'm going to go off one quarter of a turn. We're at the bottom end of the spec. We're going to hammer. It's a big jump for a hair turn. 2080, 2010. I think you can see that. 2090. I like a bit of a lower RPM within spec, because I find when you put the motor in gear, it doesn't jump as much in the water. There's a good 1900. Now, one more thing I got to take care of here is I noticed that the throttle cable needs adjusting, because I could turn the throttle almost a good third to a half before the RPM kicks up. So I'm going to put the throttle to neutral. These are kind of played in. See that? Now there's your problem. I don't really cut the engine. So just in case you couldn't hear me, look at all that play there. See all that? And I can turn the throttle up almost halfway before the RPMs kick up. So that needs a big adjustment right there. The problem is I think that's an 8, and I'm in my office basement here. I don't have access to a lot of wrenches, but the smallest I have in front of me is a 10. But I'm going to take a look around, see what I can find, and be right back. So I couldn't find an 8 mil, but what I did figure out is that it's actually, I was able to twist it and it came free. And that's maybe why it's so loose. So let's just thread that out. Wow. I don't know how much thread there is in there, but a little more. Wow, that's huge. Just slide this back through there to adjust that. Oh geez, it's all the way out. Is there an adjustment? Let me put that back in. So now that begs the question, is there an adjustment on this end? Let's take a look in here. No. No, the plate doesn't adjust. There's no adjustment there. It's almost like the cable is just too long. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. Don't want to make you sick. I'm going to go see if I can find an 8 mil and tighten this up as best I can and retest. Be right back. Okay, I'm back. So, a couple of things. First of all, I found a wrench that'll probably handle that little 8mm. It's a little overkill, but sometimes you gotta work with what you gotta work with. But I also, now that I have some extra light here, did notice that there is an adjustment. You see the nib on the end of the cable? There's another spot for it. And I think moving it to the other position will shorten the length of the cable and make that adjustment more reasonable instead of having to thread it out all the way so that it falls right out. So to give myself some room to work with, I'm going to just thread it all the way in, giving me more room to play with on the cable. And with any luck, I don't know, this, sorry for all the moving around, but my, like I said, my motor stand does not like working fair with my tripod. Can you see that? Okay. Might need something to pry that out a little better. All right. Come on out. You can do it. Got it out. Yeah, that'll do it. Question is, can I get it in there? And can you guys see what I'm doing? It's hard to hold the light and video and have a tool in your hand and do this all at the same time, but I think I can manage. Put the screwdriver down. Maybe I can try and seat that in there a little bit. What I wouldn't do for a pair of needle nose pliers right now. Okay, good. Now I got two hands. Still can't see, and I'm sure you can't see, but I think you know what I'm doing. I'm just moving the nib to the next position. There we go. Oh yeah. Bring it back over here. Oh, much better. Look at that. See, now I can't. See, now I'm pulling, but at that point I'm actually pulling on the spring. Got to figure out where it's loose to about there. We don't want it to be pulling on the throttle at all. Tiny little bit of play in there. That's the play, that's the spring. Can you see that? That feels like play, spring. I think I'm going to try and lock it in there. That made all the difference right there. Okay. I'm going to grab my slightly oversized wrench and just give that a quarter of a turn just to snug it up. If there's enough room to get in there. These are way too wide. You know what, that's not going to work. I'm going to just leave it finger tight. We'll test it out. And later, when I have my other toolkit here, I will adjust. Okay. feels much better. Okay, let's start her up. With the screwdriver from the top of the motor. There we have it. So I don't know why that was so far out and why I had to adjust that to the other position. I don't know if just that the cable stretched quite a bit since this motor was new. It's a 2012 or 2013 model, and the fellow I bought it from, I don't think used it very much, so I don't think it stretched. Who knows why? Maybe that was just a mistake on the assembly line and it just got overlooked. But that should also bring up the top speed quite a bit now that there's 50% more throttle cable to pull. So what I'll do is in a couple of months from now, when the dinghy's in the water, we'll do a couple of lake test videos. Thanks for watching.